Thanks for watching Coin Collecting Fun. This channel is dedicated to the king of hobbies and the hobby of kings. I'm here with my buddy Charlie.
Hi.
Get to share the screen together. This is the man, the myth, and the legend.
Hey.
And he just gave me this wonderful coin as a gift, as another gift. I need to give him some gifts to pay him back. Oh, there we go. Didn't drop it. It slipped, but it did not fall. And so that's what it looks like. So Charlie's going to talk about this coin here. I'm going to show this part and this part one last time, and then he's going to discuss that with us. And thank you so much for watching, everyone. So all right.
How you doing, everybody? This is a Mauritius half crown reproduction mint. The mintage is 1936. Mauritius is the home, or was the home, of the Dodo. The Dodo, unfortunately, has now become extinct. The last Dodo was shot and killed in the 1680s, so less than 100 years after his discovery. He was put up on a wall and shot dead. But you have the Mauritius half crown here. Mauritius was once a British protectorate, and was a British protectorate, and when this coin would have been minted in 36, it became an independent nation in 1968. It's now a constitutional monarchy. And then you also have the Dodo here, very, very well done, preserved as a reproduction. And you have, no one really knows what the Dodo looks like. We do have partial skeletons of him, but there's no full skeletons. And most often than not, people remember the Dodo because he was first brought to the world by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Many thought that he was fat and chubby and had he was a flightless bird, but he probably was not as chubby and turkey-like as many people would think. To show him
oh yes.
The picture there.
Oh yes.
But this is just an artist rendering of what the Dodo may have looked like. Again, he's probably not as round and is not as chubby, but this is what many people at large think that he may have looked like. But he had no natural predators, and he would eat fruits and berries and along the forest floor. And he had he was a very docile bird, and he would literally come up to hunters and they would just shoot him. Again, as said, in less than 100 years, no more Dodo. And to the point where he has become synonymous with stupid and very, very, dumb bird, but we don't know. Projecting human attributes up on the bird. But Mauritius, the island, was a British protectorate, and there are still stamps made with the Queen's likeness on them. On the obverse of the coin is Edward VIII. He was in 1936 next in line for the crown, but in 1938 he fell in love with an American, twice divorced, and it did not go over well. And he decided, for the love of his woman, to abdicate the throne, and he then took the title of Duke of Windsor, and his wife is Lady Simpson was Duchess of Windsor. The reason why you don't hear much about Edward VIII much is he was a proponent supposedly of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. He even went to Germany and did the Hitler salute to Hitler himself. Actually met Adolf Hitler. Hitler, for his part, said that speculated if Edward would have been crowned, that England and Germany would have formed an Entente alliance. That, of course, did not happen, and probably because of the stigma surrounding the man and his politics, once he died in 1972, the title of Duke of Windsor has never been resuscitated and resurrected to any of the current nobles and royals, probably because of a tinge of Nazism, even though he claimed in public that he was not pro-Hitler, but yet in private he said, "Oh, Hitler is not a bad chap." We'll leave that. But Mauritius is two islands in Rangoon and Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. You correct me if I'm wrong. But it's for reproduction. It's a very well kept coin, and it is very well put together. And I don't know if this coin itself is still minted, but the coin itself is very well preserved in the plaque here, and of course you get the artist rendition, quote unquote, of the Dodo and what he looked like. You'd think that he'd be a little bit more svelte than that, but unfortunately Dodo is now equated with stupidity, to the point where, even in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Donovan says, I will be drinking my own health when Hitler has gone the way of the Dodo. So when an extinct bird can get Spielberg's attention, you've done something right. It's a very well put together coin, very well preserved coin, and it is the Dodo is one of those extinct creatures that, we wish we had more of him. We really don't know how many of them there were when the Portuguese first discovered the country in the 1570s, and we don't know the act of attrition, how many Dodos met their fate and how fast and how soon. But we do know that by the late 1780s, about their modern day scholars saying maybe even as late as 1790, the last wild dodo was spotted alive. But ever since 1690, no more dodo. But he basically lives on in mortality in the 1950s Walt Disney Alice in Wonderland film. In local parlance and in pop culture, as dumb as a dodo, or as stupid as a dodo. And we really don't know if the bird itself was stupid or just didn't have any natural predators, so he didn't have fear. There is something to be said for fear.
Oh yeah.
The British Empire up to this point in 1936 basically still had India as a protectorate. So you had a small island nation having influence as far out as India. But then by the 1940s, they started breaking away and becoming their own nations, either becoming constitutional monarchies or becoming their own independent nation states. And with Mauritius, it is now a constitutional monarchy. It does have independent status within the British Empire, what is left of it. But it would probably be more likened to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it would probably be considered a home rule. You have a island that is under the protectorate of the royal family, but it basically owns to its own affairs.
Yeah.
So, and you also have when the now Duke of Windsor, became the Duke of Windsor, he basically gave up all his title. So the thing is that his coronation day was set in stone, but they didn't want to change it, so they said, okay, his brother William, known as Bertie, would actually be enthroned and crowned instead of him. Now, we really don't know how he truly felt about giving up basically a royalty title, His Royal Highness, for the love of a woman. This is more soap opera than real life that it actually did happen. So, thing is that when we are talking about the British monarchs, Edward VIII actually has one of the shortest reigns of any British monarch, whereas his mother, or actually would be his, I believe, niece, is now Queen Elizabeth II, and is now the longest reigning monarch in history. She is now lapped her own great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria reigned from 1837 thereabouts to 1901, over 60 years, and yet you have Queen Elizabeth with her corgis and with the lovely hat and the like, and has become not only a piece of British history into herself, but she also served in World War II and actually made a point to drive herself around. She was not chauffeured, but in so doing, you have Britain having all these colonies, America being one of them at one time, and then you have then they started dropping off. We got our independence in 1783. India got their independence in 1947, and then you have others. Palestine became independent. Basically, Britain thought that we have this world empire, let us exploit it. And so the only reason why they came into Palestine was there's rich oil reserves. And then you had of course, as I said before, the rich oil reserves of Palestine, basically ignoring the fact that the land was already owned by the Iraqis and by Palestinians, and basically just, we'll just come in and plunder. And it was thought, we have this colony as of in the aftermath of World War II, let us exploit it, and they did to the hilt until they basically threw off Britain and became their own country. But the coin here is again very well put together for reproduction. Tune into Jared's channel as often, and I know this is a shameless plug, but tune in to his coin collecting fun channel. I've learned a lot, and there's more to come, and thank you for your time.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for your time, and really enjoyed having Charlie here. So glad you got to meet him in person now, and or on video, but instead of just a name only, you're able to hear him talk. And just want to let you know, I really enjoyed this time with Charlie, and want to thank him for his kindness. And I want to be able to repay him and get him nice things too, because man, he's given me a lot of coins lately. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, and follow me on Twitter at Coin Collecting Fun. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye.